What's up, demons and demonettes? It is I, Atraxi Demon Queen, and it's time for Realm Clash Round 2, the Apex Clash. But before we get into it, as always, toss a like and subscribe down below. So, congratulations to you if you won your group elimination, and you are headed into Apex Clash, because it's time for more homework, right? Similar to our prep for the last match, we're going to peep all of our opponents and try to determine who we're going to face in which rounds. Okay, power-wise, right? Okay, so we got like a 5 to a 6 here. All right, so I know my third best team can beat that easy. Fine, great. All right, next round, we got a 5 to a 6. And then we got a 5, right? Okay, so I expect Joe here to beat this person. I fight Joe, same server, see Hades 8, Hades 8. I know I can beat them. Great. Okay, I'm moving on to the final. Got it, right? So I've got my 3, I got my 2. That leaves me with my 1 for the final. All right, so now we need to peep the other side. All right, so we got this guy here who's got a 9. All right, I have about 1 million base power on their teams. Okay, we'll keep that in mind. They've got 7, and they've got like a 6. All right, so same logic. I'll be fighting this person in the finale. Now, you could do this next step with any of the opponents that you are potentially fighting. I'm just focused on this guy right here. So what we could do is we can go into a match replay, right? We can go to their group, and then we can see what teams they ran. If we want to really go granular, we could look at their matches. For me, I fight a very similar team in my Advanced Points League, which I know my Dark team can potentially struggle against. So I'm like, okay, I can win 1, I can win 2. I'm not so sure about match number 3. I don't know that 1 million more power is necessarily going to get me the win. Okay. All right. So what we want to do is then I went in and I was able to test my Dark team against a similar Echo team to that, and I could make some edits. So let's talk about what we potentially could do. All right. So I know my second team is fine. There's no crossover. All right. So I know Vermilion Bird is a problem for melee. She nukes melee. She hates melee. She's going to nuke melee. This team was previously melee heavy. How can we fix that? I'm like, all right, well, I could put my Vermilion Bird in here as a companion piece to Poseidon and to help me out. So we swapped out Tyrfing for Vermilion Bird. And then I'm like, okay, I still got to fight Vermilion Bird. I think Herman's a little bit weak in this case. Let me put in Caesar. Okay, well, now that I have to pull my Caesar off my Sanct team, now I have to go find a comparable piece to put on my Sanct team, right? So then I substituted in Hellwhale, right? So then it's just determining, right, what's going to give us the best chance to win, because I don't want to ruin my chances of my Sanct team winning. But I have enough power that I think I should be okay here. I know this team will be fine. And then this team is now super, super strong, right? The other thing you could do is you can go into your artifacts, tweak them up, build up your dragon nest. Like I pumped up the dragon nest for my illusion dragon so I could stick in another artifact, right? So I went for the candle. I call it the candelabra. I think it's the cadenza. Whatever, I stuck that in there. It added some survivability. It let me overcome that 1 million power deficit. Great, awesome. So now I know my teams are set. The only other thing we can really do at this point, right? I'm not really going to be getting any more copies of heroes, so we're not building divinities. If you didn't build divinity on a couple of your heroes, you could do that now. If you need to, you could pull for more Halkins to try to get those better. Maybe put some more into artifacts to raise the levels on those. Get in your rune shards, all that type of thing. Blow your wad on your gear. Just try to complete as many gear sets as possible. Maybe raise up to UR. It's just those last little minute things you can do to just try to give yourself an advantage at this point, you know. But we're pretty much set. It's just maintaining the course, you know. Hey, just make sure I get in, clear out, do all my clears, get my XP, level up my luminaries, build up their divinities, focus on the big characters, that type of thing. So one thing else I could point out is that if we do go into the ranks, we can click on reward preview. We can get an idea of how much currency we're going to get, right? So as long as we get second place, we're going to be good. We'll get 160 of these crests, whatever you want to call them, right? And then we go to the store, and then we can see, hey, they're 80, right? Okay, so if I get it second, I can get 2 of these. Great, that's going to help me out a ton. I also figured out if you go here and you click on the magnifying glass, you can see what each one gives you, right? So it tells you it unlocks the extra area and the dragon nest, and then he gives you the penetration, right? And then the archangel does the same thing, and he gets attack power. And then the deer gives you the other 2, and then gives you HP. That's not a lot of HP in the grand scheme of things. So obviously we're gonna go 1, 2, because I figure I'll at least get second. Everything goes ideally. I'll get first this time around, so I have 40 extra sitting there. So then that means the next time Clash comes around, hopefully I get to top 8. Then I can, you know, I should have enough to at least get the deer, even if I do poorly that time around. But then we can get the deer, and then we can focus on getting the other copies of the other ones to diamond them up to open up those dragon nests. And that's realistically it. There's not a whole lot to cover here. We covered most of it in the previous guide about how to like scout opponents, using Advanced League to your advantage in testing team comps, or if you're... Well, I did stumble on to something else as well that you could always use to test. I just don't know how reliable it's going to be, because I don't know how they set the teams. But if you do have someone on your friends list, you could do like a friendly type duel against them, right? But if we hit duel, I don't know what kind of like team it sticks out here. All right, so that's his typical arena team. It may just stick out their arena team. It may not be the best team to test against, because you may not be able to find similar teams. Maybe you could work with your friends to have them set up a similar team that you could test against here without having to worry about losing points in Advanced League or anything like that. Anyway, that's going to be it for this one. Good luck in your Apex Clash and get first place. Bye!